special need, we have one more we need to do. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful fall afternoon, morning. Dear Lord, thank you for those assembled here to do the business of Jefferson County. Thank you so very much for the staff that surrounds this table, because the decisions that the commission makes today are carried out by the staff. And we appreciate them, we love them, and we give them to you for your divine guidance. Dear Lord, through the decision that we do, that they be in your name, ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm going to start with development, health services, having other corners. I was off to Dr.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 26 items this morning. Let me start with the senior center contracts. As you all know, we have 32 centers.
I move those that are on the agenda. And ask why the other ones are not.
They haven't been received. We sent them out to them, so we should hopefully have it on the next agenda. Okay, so number 22 is for the $401,000 that we normally give to the senior centers for transportation to and from the centers and the special trips. Number 23 is a resolution committing $198,855 as local non-matched for class trend. That is no additional money for the county. That non-federal match will be coming out of the 401 that you give to the senior centers for transportation. Number 24 is with speed change to assist us in spending the rest of our ERA2 money. Widow Bryan will be assisting us in taking care of the remaining cases that are in manually, and speed change will process the checks in the amount of $36,000.
Hamilton, would you remind me of what an ERA2 program is?
It's ERAP. It's just another name for emergency
Health Assistance.
Number 25 is Bridge Ministries for our EG 2022 funds. Bridge Ministries provides rental and utility assistance, and that contract will be for $68,593 to be paid out of that program. And the final one is a lien release for Diane Ramson and Latoria Ramson. They paid off their mortgage.
1 through 26.
First, the second.
The second.
The first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have family court, John Spiegel, a professional services.
Good morning. Good morning. This should be Hunter here. We have on the agenda a training for our drug court team that's being funded by Administrative Office of Courts Drug Court Grant. And so the training will allow conflict resolution groups to be held with those kids involved in drug court and our gun court programs.
Is that county or state funding?
It's state funding from Administrative Office of Courts.
Grant.
Professional services. First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This is the end of my report, Commissioner.
Administrative and Infrastructure Committee, we got a Rebuild Alabama plan, which is how we spend the state money. You go ahead, come on up. You got a lot. But before we do anything else, all of these 50-something items are all vendor contracts for vehicle repairs, is that right?
Yes, sir. Your last 4 through the end. Second. 4 through 51 are just renewing every 3 years we have to come back to the table, renew these contracts, bid these out. That's all for fleet. Yes, sir. That's correct.
So really our business is going to the floor.
Yes, sir. Item 1 is the Rebuild Alabama plan. This is our plan, how we're gonna use our Freewood Alabama, our CRAF funds. Those funds have to be used through contract, through contractor paving. Item 2 is an IGA with the city of Lipscomb. Partner really with ADM through Lipscomb, and then we're gonna be acting for Lipscomb to help them with a large illegal dumping site. I've been working on this one for a while with the city and with ADM to get all our documents in place to get this site cleaned up. Item 3 is the paving agreement with the city of Lipscomb to pave Avenue M, N, and O. And then the rest of those are all for fleet.
I move.
I will move it. Can I ask him a question with the cleanup? So y'all did get this paperwork from the city of Birmingham and that's.
Yes, ma'am, we have all paperwork in place. So once we pass this, we'll be able to act in the city's place to get on that site to start cleaning it up.
So will we gate it all to where they can't go back in? Remember, that's what I'm dead body.
We are looking at ways to close that roadway, to
Just
close that.
close it all the way up.
Yes, ma'am.
Cause it don't need to be,
That's-
they don't need to be on the It's far back up in like the woods and you can really go to Lakeshore from there.
Is that
So they-
number gonna work on?
They have one side gated off now, so the lower section, in Lipscomb will need to be barricaded off once we're done.
Cause I was gonna power about a piece of them.
It's privately owned,
It's the
Yeah.
fact.
it's privately owned.
And we're working with a private property owner to make adjustments and to gate that other side as well.
Thanks, Shauna, for helping us with these agreements too. It's kind of tricky. It's a lot of work on
And Chris is really been working on this. This has been a problem for years and it really got real bad.
They bought it,
There was a couple of bodies and some horses, dead horses too. It was awful. So I'm just glad that they, was able to fix everything. Y'all did a great job on that.
I move 1251.
Seven.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Very much. County attorney, got a minute from commission meeting, you haven't got, you need back on about these minutes?
Well, those were the last minutes that were done by Ms. Gilberto, and she is moving on to your office. So we now have our, Alicia graciously agreed to fill in as we move forward with some merits of this position, so we'll have to go through the listing process. But she has agreed to come in and take up the mantle. She's worked with Justin throughout the agenda before, when she was at the vote with Tony and with Cap. So we expect great things, and we appreciate her coming on board.
Looks like you just fit there. So, that's good, congratulations. Commissioner, we have 1 through 12. You want to say something?
Commissioner, do we all have to?
We don't have to vote on it, you're good. Theo, you have anything we need to go through, 1 through 12, in the county attorney? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move on.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very much. County, you got one, looks like we're, terminated,
Yes, sir.
the ARPA mill bill.
Yes, we've received a letter request to end this program from YWCA, and this resolution ratifies that request.
You can say that.
They had some staff turnover, and I got the letter, it said, I'd like to thank you all for awarding to the YWCA Central Alabama with the American Rescue Plan funding for mental health. Unfortunately, we will not be able to fulfill the terms of the funding agreement due to the staffing issues. I appreciate the relationship YWCA Central Alabama has with Jefferson County, and look forward to working with other brothers in the future.
So, have they said what's gonna happen to the, patients? Because they service a lot of people.
Commissioner, this program was, they were going to build a respite room and a play therapy area. So those were things that they did not actually offer before that were going to be new services they offer. So I believe that they will still continue to offer the same services that they were providing before, but they had some issues in their grants management area that was going to make it hard to use these funds to provide those new services.
Move that in this
Thank you.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Last thing we have with other business is the request of opinion from the Attorney General concerning the Birmingham inmates in county jail.
I thought we had resolved it. Or you just still
You,
want to be?
you need the opinion to make sure that you, where we need to be.
So,
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mr. Knight?
Finance,
Good morning, Commissioners. Under Finance, we have our encumbrance report, our posting agenda report, and our posting exception report.
no unusual demand.
Now, we closed the year, and so we didn't have an actual demand report.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion?
second.
All in favor, please say aye. Budget Management Office. We have some items. Do I have any questions? Do I have a motion?
Move that.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. I have the circuit clerk, absentee election manager for the Bessemer Division in the amount of $3,600 to Ms. Burke for serving 18 days as absentee election manager for the special election held on September 12th.
We have a question, Mr. Chair.
Have a motion, do I have a second? We'll get to the question. Have a second.
All right, what happened to the individual staff development? You skipped it.
I think we just
You
did
did
that.
that one and then, oh, okay.
You did both of them.
So therefore it's off the line, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, okay.
Usually it's two pages. Okay,
You gotta move in a second.
you had a question?
I'm already asked.
Oh, that was it.
You ready to carry?
It wasn't pertaining to this.
No.
Have a motion and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Developmental Services, C 23-0010.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a request to rezone an old Hillview Elementary School for a age-restricted housing development that will consist primarily of apartment buildings. Again, this would be persons 55 and older. That's why we're requesting the institutional zone and not the traditional R4 that would allow any sort of wide range of multifamily use. The school structure itself has been demolished, and these are pictures of the site as is today. This has also been a site we've had some dumping issues periodically, and we've gotten the school board on getting those cleared up as we receive those complaints. Here's the site plan for the proposed development, and as you see and you note the site plan, there is no proposed access to Eagle Drive, which is the reason for that recommended condition of the Planning and Zoning Commission to have that landscape, just to create some sort of barrier from the parking area to Egret Drive itself. And again, the Planning and Zoning recommended approval, restricting the age, restricting the use of the property to that housing development for persons 55 and older, and also that condition regarding the landscape buffer. There were some folks at the hearing who were in opposition. We have received some emails and letters of opposition. I've got an additional one today I'm going to pass out to you.
Yeah, that's what I was about to,
But yes, ma'am.
some fires.
All right. Do I have a motion on page 23-0010 as it is?
Yeah, move to deny.
Have a motion to deny, do I have a second?
Can I ask a
You talking about we need that public hearing first? Okay,
Yeah, we're
then,
just going
then
to-
I'll withdraw it, but that's exactly what I was gonna ask, is for it to go to the community, because I know that they have, okay.
Can I ask,
So I'll withdraw.
did they say why they was in opposition?
A lot of it was just opposition to the multifamily next to the neighborhood. They had some concerns about crime and other things. And again, the reason why they requested 55 and older is to combat those sorts of issues, because typically those don't create those sorts of issues. Cherry Hill is just down the street, Forestdale, and it's about half in the city and half in the county. It's a similar type apartment style development, again, geared towards persons who are 55 and older. I'm not aware of any issues with that particular facility.
So it's like assisted living, it's not a.
It's just Ager Street, not a nursing home, just Ager Street. Yes, sir. We've had a similar one several months ago back in Grayson Valley at Trustful, similar type of development. Although they were doing more of a townhouse style instead of the traditional apartment style.
So how many floors is gonna be?
I believe they're proposing, is it two or three stories? 2 levels. 2 levels?
I move the item, move the chair.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Z 230026, and we'll get you that answer.
All right, yes, this is a request to go from A1 zoning to, it's an I1 zoning classification because they want to do mini storage as well as provide space for outdoor storage of recreational vehicles. Specifically, that was what was mentioned. This is an old site in Mount Olive. It's a large property, was rezoned several years ago for a church. The church never came into fruition, and the zone reverted back to its A1 zone. It's across the street from Gamble Trucking Corporation. And this area is kind of in transition. You have some mixed commercial uses along the corridor right in this area. This was a spot where they did have some sort of clearance to park some vehicles and trucks. I believe some of that had to do with the trucking operation across the street. The Planning and Zoning Commission in this particular request did recommend approval. However, they did recommend a condition that a 30-foot buffer be maintained with the site is adjacent to residences in R1 and A1 zoning. After looking at re-examining the case and getting ready for going before the county commission, staff is also recommending an additional condition, again restricting the use of the property to any use that would be allowed in C1 commercial zoning and the outdoor storage of recreational vehicles, boats, utility trailers, and/or all-terrain vehicles in anticipation of that also taking place on the property with the mini storage itself, rather than giving it wide open I1 zoning, which could be more manufacturing, light industrial sort of stuff that wouldn't be as desirable next to those residential uses.
No opposition.
We didn't have any opposition to the public hearing on this request. We did receive some emails.
All right, I move, pass it to the agenda. Motion,
Second.
all in favor, please say aye. 0027.
All right, this request is to consolidate zoning on a large piece of property. The property has recently come into ownership of an individual who wishes to construct a house, and he also has some livestock horses on the property. Several acres, let's see, 98.5 acres. Portion of it is zoned R7, that goes back to a 1970 zoning case. Another portion of the property is zoned I3, which is just legacy industrial zoning property. And all this would bring the property into one zoning classification, which would be A1 agriculture, which would allow for the residential use of the property as well as for the keeping of horses.
Move. Have a motion, second.
Second.
I will note that there was someone who came in opposition at the Planning and Zoning Commission here. They had property in the area, and I think they were just afraid of the effect of the rezoning on their property.
Where is Forest Lane?
This is out off of Overton Road. Leeds-ish, Irondale-ish, out that way.
A motion and a second, all in favor, please say aye. All right. 2-8.
All right, this request is to go from A1 zoning to an RG zoning to allow a garden home development. Now, this is actually at the tail end of an existing subdivision that has been annexed to the county. The subdivision itself was developed in the county and then was then annexed in subsequent years. The proposed site, what they're proposing is, put this site down, 99 housing units. Of course, it's more of a clustered style as opposed to the traditional R1, R2 style development that the original subdivision was developed with more than 20 years ago. And so what the applicants are proposing is to sort of buffer the particular development, as limit the density to something that would be a comparable density to what is already being developed. Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval. However, staff has gone back and recommended approval with some additional conditions. One was sort of legislating that 50-foot buffer that's right there, as opposed to the wide open RG zoning, which would allow it to develop all the way up to the property line. Second, the development would not exceed 1.94 dwelling units per acre, again, bringing it into more of a density, more compliant density-wise with the existing development that it will be accessing through. And then third, would the garage shall be set back a minimum of 25 feet from the back of the sidewalk, or back of the curb if no sidewalk is provided. That's just typical language that we've done for the garden home cases as requested the county traffic engineer. There was opposition at the public hearing. Notably, there was opposition from the city of Kimberly, who wanted the development to commence within their municipal limits.
I thought you said it was.
No,
It's not.
no, the development up to the north is Kimberly. This is
Okay.
okay.
All right, who's the development?
It's John Kane.
What's this company?
BBA Development, I believe.
BBA?
I believe that's correct.
Because I'm getting a lot of course, pushback on this. Number one, it's not similar to the, say, was this all one parcel at one time as far as the development?
No, this was never included, but it did. But when Franklin Park was developed, the community to the north, they did provide a stub out street to the property in the south, which is sort of alluding to the anticipation that there would be additional development to the south at some point in time.
Yeah, and I think the opposition is that you're gonna have all that construction, all that traffic now coming through the existing neighborhoods, so
Right.
maybe we can look at an alternative.
Well, as it was stated at the hearing from an official with the city of Kimberly, that they would be, requiring a bond or the highest dollar bond that they could get with regards to the Kimberly Street that they would be accessing from during the construction process.
That doesn't answer the question. All right, do I have a motion?
You've got I have a question for that, and I will.
And I did receive some additional opposition on the Tesla's.
Additional opposition, and you even proposed 60-foot buffer.
Yes, they're proposing the 60-foot buffer, and the reason for that condition is because when P&Z recommended just straight up approval, it didn't do anything to basically protect or require that buffer that they're showing.
Okay.
So that was the reason for the condition, or the staff recommended
When
condition.
you say a buffer, is that a field, is that trees, is that bushes, is that?
Currently it's wood, so I mean, we could say to the minimum, yeah. The language the staff has recommended, there should be a 60-foot undisturbed buffer between this development and the existing Franklin Park subdivision, with the exception of the minimal amount of disturbance necessary to provide access and utilities.
I'll move to,
Yeah, I would too, but,
Second. Whatever, just first.
yeah, we'll have to that. Have a motion, second, all in favor, please say aye. All right, B 23-029.
All right, this is also a request for a garden home development, it's on Blue This is 46.22 acres, this property is owned A1 agricultural around it. They're proposing to develop with a density of 2.4 dwelling units per acre. Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval with conditions that the development should be limited to a density of 2.63 dwelling units per acre. A 35-foot woodland barrier shall be maintained along the northern and western property boundaries, where as you can see they're adjacent to existing residences in this particular rural area that is in transition. And also, again, the proposed, staff is recommending additional changes to those conditions. Here we got ahead of myself. That the development will be limited to a density of 2.63 dwelling units per acre. 35-foot woodland area shall be maintained along the northern and western property boundaries. Planning is only recommended condition regarding the very what's specific as to where that was supposed to go, whether that was supposed to go around the entire periphery of the property or not. And so this just basically addresses where it would be adjacent to existing residences in this area. And then lastly, staff recommended that additional condition regarding the setbacks for the garages in these garden developments. Again, that's just to keep cars from dangling out to the streets and causing traffic conflicts. but this also was met with opposition from area property owners.
And continues to have opposition.
Yes.
How many, going,
It's 122 units.
Well, they don't build them like they used to do. Everything's,
And a lot of that is just market driven,
I understand.
as well as cost of infrastructure that goes out there. They've got the developers out there to recuperate that cost.
This going to sewer.
There is sewer in the area, but what they contemplate is actually having an on-site system if they can't connect to that sewer.
Why can't they connect to the sewer?
I would have to see if there's a note regarding this in the report.
Dave?
Sewer's not available, but it's approximately 1,000 feet to the west of the site there at Timberleaf. So I mean, I guess that they would have to go to the cost of construction to tap onto it.
What's our,
I don't remember the discussion specific about this one, but I'll find out. We, obviously, with Timberleaf and everybody else, we've talked about a lot of things going on.
So, you know, there's a lot of development going on in that area now. And I am very, very reluctant to do anything that doesn't connect to the sewer. And also the buffer. I think that there should be a minimum 50-foot buffer on that. But I'll maintain an open mind as we move forward. I'll move to the appointment.
no motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, now EMA have a federal grant agreement, 216-927. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
General services,
Good morning, Commissioners. General Services has one contract item on the agenda. It is software for the flat lot and the parking deck. It is tap to pay.
Second.
motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And I skipped number 6 above. I have a resolution adopting the revised Jefferson County zoning resolution. Do I have a motion? So moved. Have a motion?
Oh,
Second.
I have a question.
Have a question?
Tell me, what did we revise, Ms. Mars, in this, excuse my uninformed?
Yes, ma'am. The language currently, the main purpose of this was we recently had the act passed by the legislature that changed the way that our fines are set up for zoning violations. The
So our
legislation,
penalties are strong.
yes, our penalties
Okay,
prior to the legislation.
Don't worry about it. They're strong. They're
Penalties are
tough.
strong, yes,
Okay,
much stronger. And
okay.
then the rest of it's just kind of housekeeping, changing the name of the, it was referencing our old department name and
Okay.
our old
So
permitting
you're
process.
getting us up to date and you're making the penalties tougher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, I have, we do general services.
Yes.
We do that one, yes. All right, we have, 3 items under the District 4 report other business. I have a board appointment for Palmdale Fire Division.
Okay.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Go to number 3, it's a sewer rate resolution, public hearing set for October 12th. Do I have a motion? So moved. A motion, you have a second?
Yeah, I did second.
Have a motion and a second.
I don't know what it is.
So, yeah, and where is it going to be at, and what is this about? This here, this why I'm just, here.
This is going to be, part of the refunding
Right.
issue. But we have to have a public hearing before we do that. It will be in our, chambers on Thursday.
So,
It's Thursday?
yeah, so why, we haven't heard anything about it? Wait a minute, I'm on the next. We should have heard something, and it hasn't been advertised. If it has, it hadn't been advertised in my community. I know that for a fact. And where did you put it at when you advertised?
Let's go back and say it again. Okay, it was advertised.
Where?
It is in the messenger, we're supposed to.
In the messenger, what is that?
That is a legal form of advertising for all legal announcements. Number two, there's no changes in this rate resolution from what we've had. It's all been confirmed by the federal court. There's no, I'm not saying structural change, there are no changes in the rate resolution that we adopted coming out of bankruptcy. The one that was affirmed by the court and continues to move forward. So, it's kind of like status quo, here we are.
But still, my constituents will want to know, given when they have the opportunity to come. Put it in the messenger it's just not enough. I don't know what it is. How do you get to the messenger? And I don't know what is it and how you get to it.
So, Mr. President.
No, that's just how Commissioner Knight's agenda, it's it.
Okay. So, yeah, but it's a legal publication that very few people know about. But let me ask this. I'm sorry.
That's okay, you go ahead. When you finished and.
No disrespect. Go ahead, because I was about to ask you. But what I was gonna suggest, if we can be in agreement on this, can we delay this item for another 2 weeks so that we can, be able to inform, our districts in such a way that we know, that it can be communicated and they can participate? Okay, so is that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Let me see if I can try to put some clarity in this.
Okay.
So, what we have now, is mandated instruction by the bankruptcy court. If you recall, at one point we had those huge rate increases, it was something like 7 point something for a period of time, and then it dropped down to 3.49, which is where it's supposed to remain. This is done in anticipation of what we may do with refinancing. You all remember some discussions that we had about what we would take to sustain things. And so what this would do is effectively, if something happened, replace that, but it would not change what's already in existence. So that's what I wanted to make clear. It's not going to be something that raises anything more than what you already have. It would basically replace that document. In terms of so it has to be called that hearing because it's a change in the document, but there's no change in what those actual rates will be. As far as the messenger goes, it's a legal requirement. So when we had the Birmingham News, when we had the major publications to circulate those things, it is anticipated when we had the Post Herald, we had the news and that kind of thing. It was a larger publication that was required. Since the time, since all of the media has now pretty much gone digital online, that requirement has not changed. It may be something that you might want to look at in the next legislative session about how you do advertising. But right now, we're constrained with the legal requirement, and that's the only publication of general circulation that's left at this point that we can use. But I just wanted to make clear that it's not it has to be called a hearing because that's a legal standard, but it's not going to change anything that already exists.
So let me ask this, County Attorney. I understand about the public distribution component of it. What I'm saying is, and it's a vote of the body, what I'm asking respectfully is that if we all could just agree to make sure that as much as we can, as effectively as we can, to communicate that to all Jefferson County, so that they do have the opportunity to participate. The reason why I'm saying that is because when you're blindsided, you see this on the agenda, but you haven't had any discussion to the degree that those that you serve had the opportunity to at least be made aware of what kind of decision that you're making on their behalf with the information that has been presented. That's what the concern is. It's just making sure that we know the legal publication that we must advertise in. We got that part. But I'm talking about when we get to a point that folk don't know what's what prior to us taking a vote, it kind of put some commissioners in a very awkward position, especially when that is a main topic of discussion. And in those districts, it puts us at a disadvantage.
Which is why I wanted to make sure that everybody understood, because that wasn't made clear, is that this is not, although it's called a public hearing, and I understand everything you're saying, it does not change what currently exists, so the public should be aware.
So here's what I'm saying, even with that helpful information, if that's not disseminated in a better fashion than what we've done, I'm saying that puts some commissioners at a disadvantage. So that it's one thing to have information. It's another if some people can feel as though they have been disenfranchised because they were not allowed or given the opportunity or not enough time to participate in the process. That's all that I'm saying. And is there anything that would preclude us from not being able to at least have, have a meeting where we can just delay, come back with this item, and if you got a time certain, it's not just our thing. So is there anything that would preclude us from being able to have 2 additional weeks where we can be able to make our constituents aware, and so if they can modify their schedules, or if they're able to come, at least they're able to participate?
Well, here's the basics of it. As we have it now, the rates are what they are. We're looking to go to the market to refund and refinance the sewer debt. And if we do that, the rates will stay the same. So if we don't go to the market, the rates are X. If we do go to the market, the rates will still be X. It's the same on the rate. So that's
So here's what I'm putting this in the commission with all due respect. Here's what I'm saying. But being that we know what we're attempting to do, and we know that there have been some misgivings in the past, that the public's trust is in question. All I'm saying is that if we could have a public hearing, this would allow for Commissioner Tyson and myself to get the word out, so those who are interested can at least have the opportunity. I understand that you're saying about the rates and so forth, but here's the thing, we've been waiting, trying to get this accomplished for a while now. And so 2 weeks shouldn't put us in a precarious position, but it does allow for the commission to maintain the public's view or trust of how we move forward on something that was basically national news.
All right, let me, Mr. Long, would you address?
Yeah, certainly.
Bond counsel.
Frank Long. Yeah, so Frank Long, obviously we've been working on a potential refinancing the sewer warrants for a while. Just to affirm what Mr. Lawson said earlier. So in 2013, we adopted a rate resolution, or the County Commission adopted a rate resolution. That rate resolution was validated by several federal courts, and it calls for 3.49% increases, annual increases, for as long as those 2013 warrants are outstanding. So we have been looking at different ways to reduce debt service by refunding those 2013 warrants. But in order to refund those 2013 warrants, we need to adopt a new rate resolution that, as Mr. Lawson said, it still calls for annual 3.49% increases. So the annual increases, or the annual rates under this new resolution are going to be exactly like they were under the 2013 resolution.
So here's what I'm saying, Mr. Long, with all due respect. We know that districts 1 and 2, portion of the county, was heavily adversely impacted by previous decisions. Imagine 2 commissioners who also have to be elected by their constituents as well, who have been hit the hardest. And we are just learning about this. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've been waiting on us to get to this bond refund. I thought we would have been here long before today, but we're not. And all that I'm asking of this body is to have courtesy to allow us 2 additional weeks, which is basically the next meeting, so that we can get the word out to our constituents so that they can participate. I believe that to act on their behalf and not give the courtesy for them to hear exactly what we're hearing, just because we're on social media and because we have some media, we owe it to our constituents for them to at least have the ability to participate. That's all that we're asking. If we can at least delay this item, and for your edification, we've been talking about this since last year. I'm just trying to figure out why we're rushing to adopt a resolution that we know that our constituents, they need it. You cannot have, I'm gonna tell you for an example for the body. I was at Huffman Neighborhood Association meeting, and since media is here, I don't care if it's print. I found it very interesting that there were employees of BWWB, and when the folks said about the water rate going up, they put all the blame on the county. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I stood up in the meeting and said, well, that's quite interesting considering that the county pays for their fleet. But they didn't know that. All they know is that we have a water bill that is high. We have the water rate increasing, and they said, no, we're really small. It's the county over there. So when you have people who we're doing business with who are disseminating inaccurate information, that's problematic. That's why I'm saying at least afford us the courtesy. So, and I'm talking to the body, not you, Frank.
Sure.
But to the body, to at least allow us, because I'm telling you that there are different communications that are being had from other official sources. And it would behoove us to be able to tell our own narrative. And I'm not talking about Commissioner Tyson and myself having our own narrative. I'm saying calling a town hall meeting or something where we can have the county attorney, where we can have you, Mr. Long, to be able to explain exactly what it is, but you're speaking from an official source. That's a simple ask.
Sure.
If we were just leaving it out there indefinitely, I get it, that probably would be problematic. But to only delay it for 2 weeks so that we can make sure that we have the voices of all of Jefferson County, so that when we're making a decision, we can comfortably do it knowing that we gave everybody an opportunity to at least know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, Commissioners, may I speak to the delay request? So, we do not have a set date for a refund. We are still looking at refunding opportunities.
Yes, sir.
But I can tell you that time is of the essence, and the reason time is of the essence is because we are approaching the holiday season. And so we need to get to a point where if we wait too much longer, it will not make fiscal sense or provide the best outcome for the citizens of Jefferson County if we don't go ahead and move.
So Frank,
And so if we wait 2 weeks, that can impair our ability to get the best,
Well,
the best deal for Jefferson County.
So all things being equal,
Yes.
we've been waiting on this since 2022. Why would it now constitute an emergency to the degree those districts, 1 and 2, that have been heavily impacted, who do not read the legal publication Messenger. We understand that. And you have 2 participating commissioners who have been committed to standing on this issue dated back to 2018. I think it would be highway robbery if we deny the citizens that opportunity, when we've only been waiting, Frank, with all due respect, for almost a year.
Right.
And now when it comes to informing constituents, we've got to act fast. That doesn't mean, when the credibility of the county, we represent the face of the county. When the credibility of this commission comes into play, they're not gonna look at Frank Long. They're not gonna look at your firm. They're not gonna look at these other employees. They're gonna look to us. And fair is fair and right is right. That's all I'm really asking the body. We're only talking about 2 weeks. We've waited now almost 12 months.
So to respond to your question, why now? Why is there a sense of
I don't
urgency?
mind the why now. What I do have a problem with, Frank, you can't get us elected. And I'm telling you, we took an oath. You didn't take an oath. We took an oath to make sure that when we had a seat at the table, the people we served had a seat at the table. All we're asking of this body is to give us 2 additional weeks, so that when we have a public hearing, that is a fair and equitable conversation that everybody knows about. Right now, they don't know. And if we say we're pushing something on the intelligence of people who understand this, they don't know. I'm telling you, that meeting that I was a part of, these are not uneducated people. Very educated. And if I were not sitting there to correct the record, I'm telling you, they would have thought, listening to Birmingham Waterworks employees, that the county was not being fair to them.
Right.
And that's not fair to us, Frank. 12 months, 2 weeks, 12 months versus 2 weeks.
May I answer your question then? Because you
Well,
asked me about the urgency and I would like to
Well,
respond.
you gave that to me, I'm telling you,
Well,
Frank.
I
You're
have.
talking about 12 months versus 2 weeks. And that's all that I'm saying. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, I don't.
But I want you to understand that no, I just take exception at this point because you don't invalidate the length of time we've been waiting for 2 weeks. Now, I'm sorry, Commissioner Tyson.
But they knew that when they put this on the agenda. So this is the first time you have addressed this advertisement on issues that affect our district. You knew we was gonna question this when you put it on the agenda. When you decided to put this on the agenda, you could at least notified us, or we could have notified our district. That would have helped too. But to keep doing this isn't the first time. You ain't trying to be disrespectful, but that's disrespectful by putting this on this agenda, knowing that it's gonna affect our election and our constituents by not, we can't notify them. That's what's disrespectful. We all have one vote. We supposed to be treated equally. I have had to face too many constituents on issues that I wasn't even born with when it started. And life been with issues when I wasn't even in the district, and we have had commissioners sitting in these districts for over 10 years. And these issues has been soaking and ready to explode. And once we get in them, then it explodes and people be trying to kill us. So that I'm not going to accept it.
Yeah, so, have either of you, looked at the resolution?
It don't matter whether it's going to stay the same. It doesn't matter. It's the point that you're not giving them a choice to listen to. We haven't talked to them about no sewer issue, period. All they know when they look at their bill is sky high. We have not informed the citizens on this sewer issue. and it's not whether it's gonna go up or not. It is the point that we supposed to give these people an opportunity to learn. I learned that last night, and I didn't learn nothing else. People didn't know nothing. because they have never had a town hall meeting. No one never talked to them about a CDB block grant, nothing else. The employee's job isn't to go out there and do the town hall meeting. We were elected, we the ones supposed to go out there and do the town hall meeting and educate the citizens. And the roads have been paid 63 years, and they had never had a town hall meeting, period. And that's the unincorporated part where the county's supposed to take care of the folks. So I'm not gonna say nothing else about it. Y'all already made your decision on what you're gonna do. I can tell you now, I'd vote no to even send it to the agenda.
I move it to the agenda. Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please.
Hold on.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, so I wanna make sure I'm clear. You say you moving it to the agenda, that's what we're doing right now?
Correct.
Okay, so then I stand with her with no.
Okay, I have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
All right, now let's get to a really, non-controversial subject here. We have these contingency funds that basically, in the budget, we had a little bit extra funding, 1.9 million, and we were making a decision to what to do with that funding. Either leave it in a contingency fund and do nothing, or we've had several requests from multiple entities for some funding, and so we can do this now, or we can put this off 2 weeks. What is the pleasure?
I'll move to table.
Have a motion to table it, and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. When are we gonna sit down and discuss where this money going?
Well, today, for 2 weeks, or whatever.
I thought that was the reason why we put it off to today, is so that everyone could have the opportunity to make their submissions, and then we can have it up for consideration. So I don't understand why we delayed it,
And here,
any particular reason.
and here's the thing, do we do it? We can't do it collectively, because we've got requests of 2.576 million. 500, it was at 1.9 million, 500,000 got taken out last commission meeting, so now we're down to 1.4. So we have a lot more ask than we do ability to supplement. So
I mean, so, is there further discussion that have to be had? I'm just asking. Because I thought that that's why we opted to put this item off to this meeting.
okay. You want to reconsider your motion? I just didn't hash it out now and be done with it, because it's been on my desk and I'm tired of it, really tired. I understand. All right, here we go.
Thank you, John.
Item number 1. You have your list, everybody? If not, I have new list.
Okay. You want to share?
I don't have, Macy has. She will kindly get out and pass them out there. Yeah. All right, first item we have on the agenda is a Vulcan Foundation. Their request is $150,000. They had last year we supported them with their grants to restore the pedestal. Only problem was the pedestal had to be closed, so there's nobody been able to go up into the Vulcan over the last 6 months. And so they've had a shortfall, and they had to kind of dip into other funds, probably their capital and some other funds to keep afloat. And so they're asking for $150,000 to help with the lost revenue of the operations and their capital projects. So I have a $150,000 request. Do I have a motion?
Why don't we go through all of them and, because we may have to wind up having to prorate some of this.
Okay.
If we go through all of them, we know which one we're gonna take and which one we're not.
That with that, that's fine. Second one is consumer financial
Wait a minute,
education.
what did you say about broken?
I did, I said that's so off the old, we go to math program.
Oh,
The second one is Consumer Finance Education Foundation of America. My notes say this is a money management course for high school seniors. It's a 501c3 since 2005. It was formerly a bankruptcy financial counseling entity. House Bill 164, the state of Alabama requires a financial management course, personal financial literacy, and a money management course. So I don't know if that House bill passed. It did, okay. So it's an unfunded mandate, basically.
It's an unfunded mandate. This is my understanding at the present time on behalf of the state, because I guess the Department of Education hadn't had time to assimilate this. Make sure that everything. So the way I understand this request is this is just an adjunct to go out into the schools and teach the kids the things that they let them know in just a couple of years. If you do this, you get to the point that you don't think bad things happen. So
Why they ain't funded then?
why they do that?
They are state.
It's not that they didn't, well, or they haven't. We don't know if they will or not. I don't know.
I mean, it'd be a broad project if they got that done with the Department of Education, then you'd have to have it in every school in the state, and then you got a question with private schools. So they just haven't implemented it yet. The school has started. And I'm not sure that the implementation date is not the first of the year, but it's coming. And this is just kind of more, this is the information I have. I don't know what this covers, but it has been in existence, and it's done beneficial work for people who got in trouble and had to file bankruptcy or debtors court petition, and now this is another step to try to get them and keep them getting into that position. And I'm still not sure I know what a contingency is, but if there is such thing as a contingency, I guess this would come under it.
And then also, for this money, they want to hire 2 counselors to offer classes throughout the high schools. It doesn't say which high schools or where. So that's their request for $350,000. UAB athletics, and they have a request in for funding, and I think the agenda is $200,000. The request is to, UAB is now part of the American Athletic Conference, so they want to upgrade to some infrastructure to provide electronic upgrades to broadcast events required by the American Athletic Conference. The new broadcast equipment, fiber, the connected venue to control needed for the AAC broadcast through ESPN. And this would have to go $200,000. All right, the next item, UAB basketball.
You want me to address that, Joe?
Yeah, you can.
That one was, I sent something around the latter part of the week. They're renovating Bartow Arena. And this is actually a yearly commitment, for $25,000 for the next 10 years, to update and renovate the Bartow Arena. And everyone had received a package that was sent around and had the renderings of it. Did everyone get that? Everyone got it. So it's a very nominal amount. I thought that it would work well for the county to continue to work with the basketball program with Andy Kennedy over there. They're doing a great job, and they deserve
But we are referring to the basketball portion, not
just the basketball is completely separate than the UAB athletics.
So let me ask this question, who's been in the UAB athletics, any commissioner?
I don't know, Mr. Ingram with UAB
renovation versus athletics, I think we might as well just delete athletics and then let's consider the renovation.
Well, we're not deleting anything right now, we're just going through it.
Sure.
Jones Valley Teaching Farm has requested $11,000. The only specific I have is that they want to add a chicken coop to the Jones Valley Teaching Farm campus. The Literacy Council is requesting $5,000. Has served county for 30 years, and they're asking $5,000, and their mission is to read, write, and speak English. Gear Up, asking for a proclamation for National Gear Up Week, so that thing just all they're requesting in June.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think they're requesting funding. Junior Achievement is requesting $150,000. And here's.
Where is gear? I don't see gear.
It's not on there, it's just on my other sheet. It was just for a recommendation of proclamation. Junior Achievements, an entity that's made a request through my office, and it's to teach young people to succeed in a global economy, connect what they learn in school with life outside the classrooms. They specialize in career exploration, workforce readiness, financial literacy, business and entrepreneur opportunities. They've impacted 16,000 students in Jefferson County. It's an on-site, hands-on experimental learning program. They have 200 to 250 students per day. They target middle and high school. And they have facility-based learning labs. Their request is $150,000. I guess that's kind of similar to what we've seen above. All right. Rick Woodfield has made a request to all the commissioners, I think, to host over 125 ball games per year. It's the home field for Miles College, and it's the home field for several Birmingham City schools, and we'll host travel ball games, and it's a destination for baseball players and fans. It's a tourist attraction, and they're touting a Major League Baseball games in June 2024 between the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. Their ask is $1 million. Center for Negro League Baseball Research. This came through Ms. Tyson. Their ask is $200,000. Do you want to address that, Ms. Tyson?
Yes. They actually is the organization that completes all the research for the League and the All-American League that existed back in the 40s and the 50s. So they the one put all of their uniform, gloves, and all the information in museums, which is one of the museums is downtown on the south side, and the rest of the equipment and pictures and everything is displayed throughout Reedwood Field, at Regents Park. They want to place some of it at the county, all the federal buildings, in order for the citizens to actually knowledge to grow on our baseball. So it will be placed throughout Jefferson County.
And this entity is out of Carrollton, Texas.
It is, the equipment is here in a warehouse in Birmingham.
I know.
But the center is a national center. So it's in Texas, but we do have a center here downtown on the south side next to Regents Park.
But we would be sending money to Texas.
No, you would not be spending, the money would not be spent in Texas, it would be spent here.
All right. All right. Thank you.
And they said that they would even if they could get 100,000 instead of 2, that would even that would work. They would just have to try to go to other resources and other stuff.
I actually thought this was for a museum.
It is for the museum.
It is a museum, has a physical location.
Yes.
Yeah, it's at the Rickwood.
It's at the
It's at Rickwood.
Part of it is
I thought we were going to, it was for renovation or something on that was centered around this ball.
that's for million. The museum is the historical items that they put at Rickwood Field. They want to do a museum, a partial museum there, which they have some items, but they don't have. Yeah, they have some items, but they don't have the cases to put them in to keep them from rotting and stuff like that. So they're gonna do that at Ridgewood. They got the Negro League on the south side. They're gonna put some at Regents Ballpark. They're gonna put some at the county courthouse. They're gonna put some at the city. It's gonna be put all over the city of all over the county. It's just not gonna be in one location.
Okay, the next item is the HBCU reimbursement support. And this came through Ms. Gales in the amount of $200,000.
Sure.
Address that.
Last year, we were appointed to a committee for HBCU involvement on behalf of the county. That particular committee, though it was formed for its first time and I became aware of it, there was no funding attached to the committee. As a result, what I committed to the president on is that we would utilize funds that were appropriated to our district. We have done that. And so what our understanding was between myself and the president is that if we could show our level of commitment as relates to the district, then in this upcoming budget season, we would then look for those funds to be reimbursed. I'm using reimbursement, but then they would be reallocated back to our district.
Say that again? Yeah, I didn't.
I said it very diplomatically. So
I
let me,
understand.
so let me just say it in dollars and cents.
Yeah.
District 1 invested $200,000 into a committee that I was appointed to that had $0 from the beginning. And so what I talked to the president about, we have a committee, but if the committee has no money in order for it to be able to do anything with HBCU institutions, it would be irrelevant. So we put the money up. We've had several things that we have done, including PGA, that you and I were part of. That was one of them. And so that was the amount that was spent. And so we were looking for out of this contingency so that we can continue to move forward with the progress of that committee, that those funds would be returned back to the district for our initial investment so that we can continue on to have the county's involvement with HBCUs to grow and to only be, I tend to think more of an economic impact, social and economic impact to the county.
So how would the $200,000 be reimbursed?
For the same purpose. In other words, we will continue on with those HBCU initiatives that we've been doing, except we would at least have some funding from the committee, for the committee, as opposed to us having to do it out of our district.
But will there be reimbursement back to you or me for what we spent last year?
If you like.
And I spent money too.
If
So
you
I
like.
get mine back too.
But I just know those
Well,
HBCU events that the commission approved, I'm not talking about anything else, what the commission actually approved, and that's what I sent to your office. It's not like we did things outside of a commission approval. So those items that we did, as it relates to for several events that took place, that we had the county's involvement on, those came out of our district funds. And that's that. You want me to proceed on with the Penny Foundations?
Would you please?
Yes, if you don't mind. Penny Foundation, which I would encourage all of y'all to look at their board. They have some very reputable folks on that board, and it is for educational and cultural arts for all Jefferson County stakeholders and residents. And City of Fairfield, just so you all are aware, the mayor of Fairfield made me aware that their public safety is in jeopardy. The city right now is having some financial issues, and they're unable to pay the sheriff's department what they've been able to do in the past so that they can, receive additional law enforcement support. I'm sure you all have been keeping up with the news. They've had several homicides that have taken place, in Fairfield. And so, since he made me aware of that, I wanted to bring that to the body, because typically even that too comes out of the district. So since funds are available, that's what we were asking for respectfully. Also, Northeast
Wait a
Flank.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. City of Fairfield wants us to pay them $60,000 for public safety funding. Aren't they in bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So even if you.
That causes a problem that
So-
we can give money to
So hold
somebody
on,
that's in
so
bankruptcy.
even if,
Fairfield owes us $270,000 on personnel board stuff, so I just don't know how that works for the
Well-
county being able to give a bankrupt entity. I don't know if that messes them
well,
up.
we've been providing,
Huh?
We already do, they just give that money back to the general fund. Sheriff's already funding it.
well, so what I'm saying is, so you
You're
said,
not going Fairfield.
well, that's what I was about to tell, it's
We've
about
already
to go
talked,
to an
we've already
entity
spoken
within.
with the sheriff, and we have an agreement with them to do what they need to do. We were in a meeting last week and handle that, so this $60,000 can go back to the general fund.
Okay, well, we just don't have to consider the item.
Well,
I-
either way you
But
do
nobody,
it.
but no one shared that with me. I can only go by what the mayor's request was to me, so when you all are talking, it'd be great if you talk to the commissioners whose district that is represented. So, Northeast YMCA, they have a, building of, homes with wraparound services that they are providing, over in the northeast, eastern community. They had a groundbreaking on last week. Primarily is having to, the homes that they are building is a development project. They are providing wraparound services such as mental health. They are also, providing, childcare services, for families. It's going to be between 20 to 22 homes, with this particular development. And so what I have agreed to do, so that you all are hearing this from me, I submitted to the finance chairman, that if we would agree to the 50,000, which they are, like, I think a little bit over $1 million in terms of closing this project, that our district would match that 50, just to show the commission, our level of commitment as well, that if we did 50, then our district would match it. Jefferson State Community College, which of course, Joey, you and I have definitely had our interest in that, and that's dealing with their workforce development project, which, by the way, they had a groundbreaking on that, maybe about 3 weeks ago. And so where they're doing some things in terms of partnering, Jefferson County stakeholders, particularly those who are, looking for jobs, those who are being reassigned to new jobs. They have wonderful new programming that they are doing over at, for workforce development, so that's pretty much it. But those items that we submitted, is certainly, it pales in comparison to what we did on last week, so
I
I just
want
wanted
to
to
add
make sure.
Commissioner, I want to add Lawson State Community College, 75.
Did everyone understand, at least the HBCU, Penny Foundation, Northeast, I'm withdrawing City of Fairfield, Northeast YMCA, and Jefferson State? Do we have any commissioners that have any questions as it relates to the presentation of those items? Did you get it, Jim? Did everyone else? Okay, thank you.
Tyson, you want to address the Lawson State issue?
Yes, Lawson State, needed, funding, they wanted to add, some things to their, courses that they, have for, small businesses, and also with the truck driving, schools that they are starting, and also their nursing program.
Okay, so that changes the numbers to $2,591,000. It's requested, and again, we have 1.4 available. So, all right.
How many of these are district specific?
Pardon me?
How many of these are district specific requests?
Mine isn't. I know mine isn't.
Lawson, Jefferson, Northeast, Penny Foundation. What is Penny Foundation? I didn't get much note on that. It was an educational cultural arts. That's all I got. Where?
What do you think?
The Penny Foundation. Where are they located?
They're located in Dartmouth.
All right.
They also do financial literacy as well.
Everybody's doing financial literacy.
I understand, I answered your question, you asked a question, I'm answering. As relates to, HBCU, that's not, so I wanna be clear on that. YMCA, if you wanna count that district specific while you are away, Jim had mentioned the fact, that what I sent over to Commissioner Knight's office is, since that program, has a scope, of over $1 million to close that deal, that to show a good faith effort, that if the commission were to, approve this 50,000, that our district would also match it by 50,000. So that's what I sent over to you all, if you read the, email I sent them.
And if we don't fund it, you'll send them 50,000. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying, I'm asking for the commission respectfully to consider
But if we
50,000.
don't, then you're not. Is that when you get nothing?
Well, I'm not gonna say they're not, they're gonna get something.
All right, let's go back up to the Literacy Council. $5,000, that can be somebody's community grant, because we have allocated community funds for each district, and that's a pretty small number, so one of us could take up that championship.
And I want you to know, excuse me, Joe, when it comes down to the Northeast YMCA, that program extends into, Trustwood as well, and Cemetery residents. So that was part of something that you can look up on mail.com.
All right, so, Literacy Council out, Jones Valley Teaching Farm, does anybody want to take that as a district allocation? For $11,000 for the chicken coop?
I'll take it as a district.
Okay, so that was all. Okay. All right. So let's go back up to the top. Vulcan Foundation, the request is $150,000. You've heard the request.
I'm moving.
Have a motion, so in a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, somebody keep a tally on how much we're spending here. Let me know when we get maxed out.
That's one of the things that I was saying, and some of this may need to be prorated. And the reason I was gonna let us look at it, because,
Yeah.
there's several in here that, are gonna probably require the funding. But, some of them, the others could possibly be prorated and we could be able to work through it and get it done. But,
Prorated meaning?
prorated, not probated. Well, it may need to be probated like down the line, but right now, it may be probated to take care of it.
All right. Let's go to UAB Athletics.
Just give the consumer financial.
Yeah. Purposeful. For now. UAB Athletics, I I would submit, funding that for $100,000.
Is this?
UAB athletics, that's for the, fiber to games for UAB going to the ACC. I'll move it. Have a motion. I'll second it. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. I got 2 ayes. 3 ayes.
You don't have to do that.
I don't have 3 ayes.
Not if you can move.
Okay, I'll hear you. You gotta know? Sheila?
Yeah, let me ask you this. Why are we voting on this? Cause we might have to lower them again.
Well, we're trying to get a template here.
Because some of the stuff I think should be lowered and some of it stuff should be added.
Or some of it should be just none at all. So that's the options. All right, so I have a motion in a second on your AP funding for $100,000. And I got 2 ayes and 2 nays,
No.
so that one didn't get approved. All right, UAB basketball.
That's the brick and mortar for the,
I
Spark
can go for that.
All right, well, this is really a $250,000 ask, but if $25,000 this year, and then $25,000
Oh, so this is
for
a
the next
multi-year agreement?
9 years.
You said it's a multi-year
I thought
agreement?
we didn't do multi-year.
Well, it will be coming up again.
it would come up each year, and I think we talked about we were gonna be out of contingency this year, and then out of issue, SSUT the remaining time.
We'll pass it this year, and then go from there, how about that?
So,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor on the UAB basketball Bartow Arena for $25,000, say aye.
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 Hold on, but let me make sure. But this I that we're talking about today, or vote we're talking about right now, is it 25,000 for 5 years? or
No, it's
just
$25,000 today.
Today,
just to do it.
okay,
We'll go from there.
all right.
Answer your question. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay, that one passes. All right, teacher forum is out. Literacy council is out. Junior achievement is asked for.
Who took up literacy council?
Huh?
Who took up literacy council?
Whoever did that, $5,000. That's a, I may even do it myself. I'm not very literate, but I may do that. All right, junior achievement, for $150,000, that's, that was the ask of, it's one of those entities that helps teach the young people how to basically survive and transitioning from life in school to life outside the classroom. A lot of business opportunities. This was, it's targeted to middle and high schools. And the request was $150,000. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion for a number less than $150,000? Do I have no motion at all? So that one's out. Rickwood Field, $1 million ask.
And then if we don't allocate all of this money, it's just gonna sit in there and it'll be available for allocation the rest of the year.
It's a contingency fund. So if there is a contingency, it's not a I won't fund. It's a contingency fund that if it's a needed, something arises, that's the purpose of it. Not that, hey, I got this project, I wanna go and get it out of the contingency fund. So it's not, so if you got a wish, make a wish today.
That's important that we address it.
And with what's happening in the world now, I ought to consider holding on to a little bit of this.
You mean to have a contingency?
Absolutely. All right, Rickwood Field, $1 million.
For the motion to give them lesser.
Okay, motion to fund Rickwood Field for $200,000.
That is Miles, home field along with several, high schools.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye. Noes? No. That one doesn't pass. Center for Negro League Baseball Research. I think that request has been moved from $200,000 to $100,000. Do I have a motion? Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
So let me ask this, let's
And
go
noes?
back,
Say,
so let's go back to Rickwood. Are we
Rickwood's
not,
over.
no, it was over at 250,000, I was just asking. No, but I'm saying, could that not be considered for a lesser amount?
Well, look, we can go back through.
Okay.
All right. But, all right, this is a no on the 100 for Center for Research. For the, all right, HBCU reimbursement support.
Move item.
Have a motion? Have a motion? No second? Motion fails. Penny Foundation,
So hold on, we're not gonna even reconsider that at all, Jim?
What we're going to do, we're gonna wait to another time.
Penny Foundation, $100,000 request. Is there a motion? Huh? What?
That's not what we talked about, Jim. And then, and what you, and it's putting, it's in my,
Go ahead.
Penny Foundation, do I have a motion? $100,000 is on the table. Going once. Going twice. Hearing none, motion fails. City of Fairfield is off.
what?
No, you're out.
So I wanna make sure that I just heard you. You said Penny Foundation's out too, so they won't get anything. I will just make sure.
Northeast YMCA, do I have a motion for $50,000?
Move the item.
Have a motion? Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'll vote for that.
Aye. All right. Look, that was passed. $50,000. Jeff State for $75,000, and what was that for? Workforce development. Okay. I know they're doing a big project out there.
I would vote for a $50,000 for Lawson State and Jefferson State.
There's a motion to do Jeff State for 50 and Lawson State for 50. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. So, all right. Who is my tally person? Miss Dixon, did you get all that?
Well, I think you all said Vulcan for 150, UAB basketball for 25, Northeast Y MCA for 50, Jeff State for 50, and Lawson State for 50.
Still,
All right, so we gotta go
I'd
back.
like for us to reconsider something.
Well, hang on, and there's one we skipped over, the Consumer Financial Education Foundation of America for $350,000 ask, which subject to House Bill 164, if it passed, and I think Mr. Boland said it did pass, but it's not funded for the state, probably should be. Do I have a motion? $350,000.
So, let me ask
You
you,
want to fund that $350,000?
can we lower it?
Yeah.
Well, if the Penny Foundation and the Consumer Financial Education of America do the same, why can't you split it? if they asking for, 350,000, which is half of, 300 is 150, so that'd be 175.
So why we can't give the research center some of that? Get them at least 50 out of it.
All right, I have a motion on Consumer Financial Education of America for $350,000. That's the Vicky Bailey and Richard Lawson sponsored program. So I have a motion. Do I have a second? Hearing no second, the 350 fails. So, all right.
Why couldn't we reconsider?
Well, we can go back to
reconsider sharing. Same with it.
Go back and we can be here. I gotta be somewhere. All right, so this is what we got so far. Love. 50. JV basketball. 25. So what's the total we got? How much? 325,000. So we started with 1.4 million. So I think having $1 million in the contingency fund is a good goal. So that would leave us 75,000 if it's the commission's pleasure on one of these other items. And then be done. Or we can go back to it, consider them all, and spend every dime we got, whatever you want to do. UAB athletics, they're
I think we got a healthy budget. I mean, we just passed $1.4 billion budget. I don't think that are we unhealthy in any regard, Ms. Dixon?
We have a budget, we still have to collect the revenue, so
we have to.
Hold on, wait now.
Let me just address your budget. Yeah, based on our projections of that snapshot when we set that budget.
Okay.
Looking at the.
But we just did some economic development projects that, hold on. But hold on. We just did some economic development projects that.
I'm trying to see what's out there in the economy. What's the economy doing? Where's it going? That's all. And it doesn't look like it's going to continue on that little line that we've been accustomed to. So, all right, and what were you saying?
I was just saying, we just passed some, nice economic development projects that had abatements, so that's a part of your tax base, so I think we're probably in a healthy condition, and, we just passed a $1.4 billion budget, so just trying to figure it out. And I still say, you weren't here, but I still want to address this body, that it was my understanding that those funds will be, looked back to be returned to the district about this committee. First of all, I didn't come up with an HBCU committee. Didn't know anything about an HBCU committee. How did you all expect anything to function as a committee that had no money support to it? So if I had done this action on my own, I understand that. But to have a discussion about it, I don't understand. So,
Continue with down the list.
okay,
We need reconsideration for the Consumer Financial Education Foundation of America. That was Mr. Bowen's motion. Failed to receive a second on the 350,000. Is there a lesser amount motion?
Yeah, that's what I said, a lesser amount.
Okay. I need a number. Cause I can say.
75,000.
I'll second that.
75,000. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Why can't we just,
I have a motion and a second. Do you have a
I
question?
want to speak to the motion.
Okay.
Why could we not consider several of these same kind of entities, and we share them equitably?
I don't even know. I know you're fighting for your
In other words,
request, but I
what
don't
I'm saying is
understand. But how
that,
you do that?
well, you can take the same $350,000 and you can split them in with various organizations that fulfill the same purpose.
We've already been through the organization.
Well, I'm just saying,
I have a motion and a second on.
rather than just saying no,
Financial.
I'm saying that I think at least we can have, those entities that serve the same purpose. And we can share that amount.
All right, and what entities are those that you're talking about?
Well, like such as the Penny Foundation, they provide the same kind of service.
Okay, and so does the Literacy Council, so.
And the Literacy Council, they do financial services?
Correct.
Okay.
Blue Junior Chief does too. I mean,
Okay.
not the Literacy Council, I mean the Junior Chief.
Okay, so then you want to consider all three?
We've already,
And with
We've already-
$350,000?
we've already denied all three other than what.
No, I'm saying the three
$750,000.
coming out of $350,000.
That's still too much to you.
Yeah, I'm saying if you got $350,000 divided by three, then that at least would take care of three organizations. And that'll put you at $116,000, basically, $117,000 per organization, at least those three organizations.
If they get 50, then that'll give something to the research and the museum.
Well,
That's it.
well, Commissioner, with all due
Give them at
respect,
least 60.
I'm saying that we just carved out $500,000 at our last meeting. We're at this impasse because of the fact we have 1.4. And what I'm saying is, some of these other organizations got to have some too. So what I'm saying is, you got three that we haven't given to. And if you divide that by three, at least they get 116,000, basically 117,000 each. And you would have had all three organizations.
The Negro League haven't got any either, and we could give them some too.
All right, there's a motion to do Consumer Finance Education Foundation over there for $75,000. Then you got Junior Achievement, that was $150,000. Can we do $75,000 to Consumer Financial Education Foundation for $75,000, $75,000 for Junior Achievement, and $75,000 for the Penny Foundation, which would be a total of $225,000. Can I
And
get a
the
motion?
rest of it to the Negro.
Yeah, I'm not doing the Negro Fund yet.
Well, I'm not gonna go on this.
Okay. We already voted on it.
Oh, yeah.
So then can we,
So what I'm asking is, for those three entities that contribute to high schools, get education on financial matters or personal matters as they go forward, can we get
Mike,
$75,000 for each of those?
are you okay with the 75,000 for each?
So there is no motion to fund all three. Okay? So we're at,
Do you want them to be funded at all?
I'm not making a motion.
No, I'm asking a question.
You were in at 350, but you're out now at 75.
I'm back. It's back on the floor, somebody else will take it. I thought it was a good idea, but no.
All right. So
There you go.
yeah, I'll move. We're doing 75 to each.
75 for each
All right. I have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So those three are funded at 75,000 each.
That's the Penn Foundation, and who else?
Future Chief and Consumer Financial Education Foundation. Those three that provide financial services to high school kids.
It's gonna be financial services for high school kids, for all.
Similar to what your guy does for businesses, that we voted 500,000, y'all voted 500,000 last time. He does that for businesses. These people go in and try to teach these kids how to balance a checkbook or.
And so that's how they were, this contract will be written up for that. Right.
I don't know how the contract will be written up.
Is it gonna be written up for them to go in and do finance?
That's what they say they do. So
Okay.
the agreement they'll have to do what they say they do.
But I wanna make sure that's what the contract is.
Then I will let you, all right. So where does that leave us now with the balance if we just did 225? But,
877,390.
all right. That concludes my report.
So let me ask you this. We're not gonna give anything to the Negro League. And why?
It didn't pass.
But I'm asking, well, why?
Well, same reason we didn't give money to a lot of these others. It didn't pass. 877-390 will be in the contingency fund.
Not gonna give anything to Bigwood Field. The oldest ballpark in the country.
Well, it was a motion. There was no motion in the meeting. There was a motion at 200,000, and there wasn't a second. So that's where we're at.
Mr. Bowles.
I move his agenda. I move your agenda. Oh, you do have one? Oh, do it. Okay.
So we didn't have any.
He didn't have it.
Public Works, Community Services, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, Board of Equalization, we have no items. One item under Environmental Services. Are there any questions? All right. Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. No items under General Retirement Systems. Human Resources, we have Wendy Shelby to serve as Deputy Director of Roads and Transportation. Are there any questions as relates to Human Resources at this time?
Wendy Shelby.
Yeah, she is over there. She can be with sister.
I said, who is Wendy Shelby?
She'll be our new deputy
Where?
director of roads and transportation. She'll be,
Okay, when do we get the rollout?
if we have everything moved through, she would start on the 26th.
26, you tell her we're a tough bunch.
I don't think
I guess I didn't know, when we approve something like this,
Yes, sir.
what exactly are we approving? We've never seen her, we've never, had any conversation, any thought with her. We're approving someone that we don't know, no one hasn't seen. So, I just need to know.
I mean, look, we got stuff with Darren.
You're approving the terms of the employment agreement that are included in the commission packet.
I can understand that, but we're actually approving the position, and it's up to you and the county manager to hire that position, and wouldn't that be the way so we've already approved that position?
Yes, sir.
We set forth, the county manager set forth qualification
Yes, sir.
for that position, so
Yes.
all we're doing now is approving your filling of that position.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I answered my question.
As a contract employee, the county manager selection hires, you approve the budget, send the highway department, and it's one of the approved deputy directors.
I just wanted to clarify for the commission that what we were doing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Has been moved. Is there a second?
Sorry.
Second.
It's It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
No items under compliance, personnel board, or district line business. Thank you.
Anything, County Manager?
Well, real quick, I want to ask Darren if you don't mind introducing Joshua, the Director of Development Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have Josh Johnson here, started with us August.
28,
Yeah.
maybe, I think.
And he jumped right in and started making some changes and doing some things that we're looking forward to in development services. Look forward to working with you. Everything you want to say, Josh?
Not comment.
Dumping grounds over there in this type of district.
He already got it last night. He got it last night.
Sold on the way home.
Well, you picked a good meeting to begin for you. All right, Angela, you have anything?
I do not,
All right, any commissioners? We're glad.
Thank you, all the employees for coming out last night. I think just talking about the road, they really did not understand, really, nothing, did they? They really didn't know, they didn't understand anything. But when, the director of roads and trains came out, he actually took his time. He showed them a PowerPoint presentation. Theo was there, Darren was there, they totally got it. But it just took time for them to just sit down and actually explain it to them. Even with Dr. Hamilton coming out, talking to them about the CDBG block grant money. They got it, but someone had to come out and explain it to them. They really didn't know. They didn't know about the insurance on the recreation center, but the senior citizen center. It was things, because they're 90 years old, the community,
Is this Martin?
yeah.
And this is Ralph Watson.
He wasn't there, and now the president is a lady that's, all of them was what, from 80 to 95.
They're mature in age.
They were mature. And after they got through, they understood and they was appreciative. So I just thank y'all for coming out. And I didn't have to do a whole lot of talking. And when Michael Morrison explained it to the group that wanted to kill us, they understood after you explained it to them. But that just show you that the people that they just didn't know. They didn't know the law on the bingo, nothing. But he really laid it out to where they could get it. So
Do we know where my district ends?
yes, we do.
Well, you tell me.
I know East Pinson Valley, it goes through Morristown. I drove it. I go all the way up to the railroad track. So,
You're talking about in Eastern Valley? Okay.
That's what it.
Now, tell me where the bingo hall is.
It's no names on it. They took the signs down, so I didn't know which was what.
Okay. Was it in my district or your district?
I don't know.
Okay.
They took in.
Why didn't you go in and ask?
I did. I don't go into territory that's unfamiliar with me, and I didn't know number one where I was. And when I was going up Eastern Valley Road, once we got to the building, then I asked Mike, I said, where? I didn't see no casino. He said, well, I forgot to tell you, they took down all the signs. So all it looked like was a bunch of buildings to me, because I didn't see any type of signs of what they were talking about anyway. So I wasn't getting out my car, because I didn't know whether I was walking into a service station, a restaurant. You just couldn't tell nothing, because they took the signs off of all of the buildings. So all you got is just some storefront buildings. But when Michael got to explain it to me, I think they just left, didn't they? They mumbled and got on up, and now I think it's gonna be, they're gonna wait till the court system solve everything. But I really didn't, I just don't like being threatened. And I take threats serious, especially when you talk about you gonna spit on me and hang me. It had got that bad, so I think,
You said court system, are they gonna sue us? Cause they can't play bingo?
nope, they are going to let the courts handle it through, the legal measures. That's what Mike Morrison said.
Yeah, we're currently processing them all as zoning violations.
Are these in District 2 or District 3?
The ones that are on Eastern Valley are all in two now, since the lines were.
Let me ask this question before we.
I just got it in November though. You had it for 16 years and you done set up.
Is that what?
Yes, it was. Some people been there for 7 years. Yeah, so let them take all of the punishment out on me and, try to fight me, but they didn't say nothing to you. But they would've got a worse whooping from me.
Let me ask, this question. So, didn't the resolution regarding the sewer rates and so forth, didn't that pass? Huh?
For the public hearing.
For the public hearing on this Thursday, right?
Correct.
So then, Carol, I would ask that you, direct staff by way of Helen's office anyway, to make sure that we get as much, publicity out there as possible so that we can have participation. But just for me and Jimmy's understanding, I wanted to make sure that I thought that it had passed.
You did, yeah.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I know it passed. Okay, all right, but if you can direct staff